Right, hi, it's me, it's TurboFX. Long time no see, guys. So you might be wondering what this video exactly is. And where I've been. So I've kind of been doing some work on bringing the first hour of the game, essentially, as low as possible. So the first 3 rounds, in a sense, plus part of Sky Domain. I wanted to try and optimize the route as much as possible through key usage, shot usage, etc. to see just how low it could go. And essentially this is just a video with gameplay, almost as like a proof of theory in a sense. So the time for this was 57:18, and I'll show you how I achieved that. And I'll go round by round, level by level, giving you a breakdown on how exactly I've optimized the beginning route of the game. So without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, so from the get-go, you need to set your name to obviously 10k, so that gives you 10,000 gold at the end of every level. So that's pretty standard for special mode runs. I think most of you who are interested in this video will already know that. And you probably already know, first thing to do, immediately open up your menu, go to shop, and put all your money into speed to get that to 999 from the very start. A very small time save I found that isn't consistent is you can have the game start the cursor on shop the second you open the menu, rather than resume game, or in this case on quit game, because that was the last option I selected. So I think it works based on the last option you had selected in general, but I don't know how to get that to happen at the start of a run, to have it start on shop. I did it one time, and that's why I was able to get a split that had 2 seconds time advantage over this one. Not quite sure how to replicate that yet though, so kind of have to bear with me on that one. So yeah, you just get the crystals and then go straight into the first level. And that's really all there is up until you go into the first level.
You are now entering the Poison Fields.
Okay, so starting Rifle Fields, you need to grab that key at the start. Very important to grab that key. Key routing has been optimized now, so you need to pay attention to the keys I'm trying to grab here. Boost around these enemies. You don't really want to get involved with many of these. And just pay attention in general to the crystals I'm grabbing. I'll point out more obvious ones that might have changed since the last run, or are definitely new additions, but yeah, for the most part it's pretty standard. But there's a couple of little changes you'll begin to see. And then obviously don't forget to grab this runestone. Occasionally you can go along the wall to skip around, but it's mostly dependent on whether the general ends up blocking or not. So yeah, and you need to make sure obviously to grab the yellow crystal behind this wall here. And I know that it is possible to break that barrier from above if you time a kick attack just right when you're trying to kill the archer above. I've done that a few times before, very slight time save if you can get that done as well. And the two hidden in there. And then going into the wall here to grab this blue one. I did consider writing that one out, but because it's still quite accessible, it's probably good to keep for at least the time being, unless there was another really good blue that came to mind, but I don't really see one right now, so yeah. And if you go up and above, you can skip this entire generator and just skip through the green suicider instead. And the timing I can't go off for whether I'm on a good pace or not is if your levitate can get you all the way to around about here with the set of keys, that means you're on a decent pace. So new addition is you need to grab those keys and that purple crystal. Make sure to grab those while you're there, and then just keep going along. And then up and coming here is a switch boost, as I like to call it. So a switch boost is basically when you do a boost attack that you normally use to push through enemies with L1 on the control stick. You basically do that into a switch that you can toggle by hitting, like by colliding with it on a wall or something like that. So if you do that as you're interacting with it, like either a frame or like boost into it, you'll keep going for a slight second as the section plays, and you'll get a slight time save by just being accelerated slightly. So you need to end the level with 2 keys, bear in mind, and at the end of this level you should have 34 red, 5 purple, 3 blue and 1 yellow crystal. And at the end of every level up until Mausoleum, you need to be putting all of your money into strength at the end of every level. And then you need to save and load to skip the runestone cutscene, obviously.
Welcome back.
And that is the end of Fields.
You are now entering Ghost Town.
Okay, so it'll become quite obvious quite quickly why you need 2 keys for this level. So right there, you open the first gate with 1 key, and then the other key is used after the Phoenix for the second gate in the level. Having 2 keys basically saves you having to pick up any in this first section and lets you just get straight through. So if you do a boost here and use double bow to just break open all these walls and kill the enemies out your way, it's a faster way of trying to break through everything, I find. Also, not missing the crystals helps. That's always a good thing to not do. Yeah, so you need to grab the keys from that barrel there for later on. Again, to save you having to pick up keys in a less optimised fashion, that's the best place to pick them up. If you hug the log around here, you can skip around the suicider and get around all the enemies quite easily. Just boost through where you need to. I mean, you should have enough special to get through. And you can just kick these out of the way. Really, the maggots, they're not too much of a big deal at this level. Just get through here and then hit the switch, obviously, to move the chest here for the next section. So here is a slight routing change. So you do still need to get this purple crystal and green, but you need to grab an extra purple crystal here at the end of the tracks. Just a very slight detour. It's the fastest purple I've found to reroute back into the current run. It's a very slight detour. I would normally get it before I get the green one, to be honest. I had a very sloppy town in this specific run. I've definitely done better, but another trick to save a little bit of time that I've implemented here is as soon as you hit the switch, use a potion, and that should destroy the suicider from below, which will save another second when you have to go up there to try and get around him, because normally you'd have to stop and shoot. But you can activate a potion right underneath him, and it should clear him out of the way. And obviously you need to hit that switch to get the yellow crystal on top still. You still need these, unfortunately. And that is the end of the level. You should finish with 1 key. And your crystal count should be 64 red, 12 purple, 5 blue, 1 green, and 3 yellow. And then, of course, put your money into strength. And that's it for town.
You are now entering Haunted Cemetery.
Okay, so Cemetery is the level where health definitely will become a slight concern. So you can already see I'm on 130. That's going to get quite low during the course of this mausoleum. Yeah, so for the most part, you just need to skirt the outside of this area. You can do a switch boost here, just to get yourself propelled forward a little bit. And then make sure to get the crystal hidden in that log. And then, yeah, like I said, health can become a big risk in this level, so you've just got to be really careful to not get hit too much, and especially with this gargoyle. So, first of all, hit the switch, go through, get past this barrier, hit that switch, and then go back. And then, to avoid the gargoyle, if you strafe kind of like I did there and try and go to the left, he can't quite hit you really. You just don't want him to hit you with that green gas like attack, because that really hurts. So then you can do a switch boost here as well. I just didn't do the timing quite right. And do not get hit there. I don't know how I missed that crystal. I really don't, but I'll go back. I'll get it on the way back, so it's fine. Yeah, so on 12 health now, 10 health. playing it super close. Very risky. I mean, if I'd have died, I would have just reset, but it wouldn't have mattered this early on, but still. I just had to play quite safe in this section, so this can be done faster. I thought there was fruit in there, but then I realised it was the banana I was looking for in the corner in that barrel. And, yeah. And I just quickly grabbed that to make sure I didn't die in this next section. So if for any reason you do end up using that extra key, say accidentally on a chest or something, there's an extra set of keys in this log here I just walked past. If you do need some extra, but you shouldn't need them. You shouldn't need to get them. So all you have to do here is strafe up around here, grab this blue crystal, and then if you open this gate here, you can grab a little bit of food and the 3 crystals you need the key for. And then you head back up here, grab 1 red, strafe round and grab this red, and that will leave you at 85, because there's 15 exactly in Mausoleum that you need to grab. And then heading round here, grab this purple crystal hidden in the corner. Oh yeah, and the heavy golem, you can bait him with a heavy attack, which you do with square on PS2. You just bait him to block and you can get around him. I use that a few times here and there, just to get around the generals and bosses. So, at the end of the level, you should have 85 red, 19 purple, 6 blue, 2 green, and 6 yellow in total. And obviously strength. And that's everything for Cemetery.
You are now entering Mausoleum.
So a big push for my optimization for the new route was to get rid of the beginning section of this level. So in the old route we would grab the switch behind the maggot spawn at the start and grab a blue and a purple crystal. And I said to myself, I don't think we need to do that anymore, considering we've cut out so much of Mausoleum's additional routes already. So yeah, I made a big push to get rid of that section. So you might have noticed there, I went for that key, that's to get through this gate here. Very important to grab that. And then try and bait or like kick the general out of the way and just get across. Sometimes you'll like be more out the way than that. So, and then grab the 3 keys that are on that ring there by the blue crystals. Head up the stairs, go around, grab the yellow and the extra key here. Yeah, so sometimes I might not be able to keep up because it's that fast. That's how much I push to try and optimise Mausoleum even further. And try not to open that chest if you can. Try not to. And then grab all of this. And then you can grab that key in the corner there. I don't normally. You don't need it. But if you know, I tried to go for it here and miss the collision and just don't bother with it. So then hit this switch obviously for the runestone, and that's the second runestone you need. Yeah, it's mostly just about grabbing keys that are in practical locations that are kind of in the way. Like grab ones that make the most sense to get. Don't just go for ones that are either going to have you required to break a wall or have to clear through enemies. It's the same with crystals as well. Like, you want to try and avoid as many as possible that are locked behind either cutscenes, backtracking, etc. That was a big part of like this optimization, really. But a big part as well is just trying to optimize movement around the generators in this game, because certain generators have collision that you wouldn't quite expect. So after this cutscene, you'll see that you can cut this corner here behind this generator, and then in front here as well, you can cut through this generator. Just stuff like that, trying to get used to stuff like that. You'll save quite a few seconds overall if you can get it down. And then obviously grab these ones in the wall here. And then this key and this key on the corner. And then if you get all the way to the top and grab the purple and red, the last 4 red, sorry, are at the end, right before the mausoleum clip, the infamous mausoleum clip, which I somehow don't get first time in this one, even though I normally do get it every single time at this point. I think I have a separate video listing exact positioning on mausoleum down warp, so if you're interested in that, I'd recommend watching that video for a more concise breakdown. So then if you strafe into the position here, see, I thought this would get it, but I only half warp the first time and have to readjust, which wastes a little bit of time, but I make up for it after this with a technique I like to call the cutscene skip. So the cutscene skip, you'll see in a moment, it's a combination of switch boosting off of a target switch on a wall that you have to hit with a projectile. So you hit the switch off screen, and then as it's hit it, you switch boost into the one on the wall, and that skips one of the cutscenes that plays normally. And you can also skip a little bit here normally as well when you go to hit that one to boost through the enemy, but the general kindly killed the enemy for me. Yeah, and you'll tend to hit level 2 towards the end of this level. I've got through this level without leveling up before, but it basically requires you to not really kill anything, and that's quite difficult with the way this level's laying out, so. And then that purple in the wall, and that's it. So then, at the end of this level, you'll obviously have your 100 red, 29 purple, 18 blue, 3 green, and 8 yellow crystals. And then, for this, I like to put 8,000 into Super Shot, so buy all the way down to 2,000. And then you buy 2 Phoenix for 900, and then 2 triple shots. And that puts you at an exact amount normally. Other than for Dragon and for Spider Queen, because obviously you need to get rid of Super Shot, but I'll go over that when it becomes relevant. So yeah, save and load to skip the Runestone cutscene, and then you're ready for the boss fight. So recently, Boyo did some research, Boyo003 that is, did some research into amulet usage on bosses and times, etc. And his research led to kind of time saves for most of the bosses if you used amulets on top of the triple super Phoenix strategy with max strength. And at the moment, Lich is the only one I can find a use for it, because he actually has a light amulet in his chamber, so you can just quickly grab that and then go back and kill him. So it's about 2-3 seconds overall, so it's still a worthy time save. You'll see it does cut time down overall. So you want to grab the coins just as quickly as possible, obviously, just get them collected. And then you put all of that money into strength, like all of the money that you collect. Put it all into strength. You want to maximise strength as quickly as possible, man. Don't leave any delay. So at the end of this level, after the end of this, you should be able to have 700 strength, I believe. You'll have 700 strength at the end of this. So then you'll just have to do a few more levels of maximising, and then you'll be at max strength for the rest of the run. And that's when you can start doing more invested shop usage for items and stuff like that. But the overflow of Super Shop becomes quite important in the next few levels, and I'll show you when we get to Valley. But for now, that's the end of Province.
Welcome back, Yellow Archer. You are now entering the Valley of Fire.
So I mean, the gist with Valley is just to kind of get it over with as quickly as possible. I mean, the route hasn't really changed since the run, like the personal best run I did. It's kind of just the same. I mean, grab that key at the start, like you saw me grab, and then, you know, clear them out of the way with super shot. But yeah, it's a pretty fast level anyway. You just kind of have to race through it as quickly as possible. I tend not to grab Thunderhammer. That's you can. I mean, it's there. I just tend not to, just because I don't end up using it, and I'd rather not risk having to get rid of it after the dragon either. So yeah, it's quite a quick level. But then you should have 44 purple, 21 blue, 4 green, 8 yellow, and the first white crystal. And then all your money into strength. And that's it for Valley.
Welcome back, Yellow Archer. You are now entering Dagger Peak.
So this is a level where having a good amount of keys will help a lot. So I started this level off with 5 keys, and then you go right, grab the 3 purple crystals and the key set there. Then backtrack, go through the first gate and grab those that way, as you've seen me do. Avoid the general, and you do need to go through this door and grab this blue crystal. Just a very slight detour. Grab that key, and then use the super shot to clear your way through most of the lanes and things like that, like clear stuff out of the way. And a little trick I like to do here to save a little bit of time is shoot there to break the wall for the white crystal if you know exactly where it's going to be. And then here, bait the golem to block and clear those enemies behind him as you do shoot. That'll give you a little bit more time just to get back and get your way through before normally he'd end up hitting you. Normally I wouldn't open that chest, just got a bit unlucky with the golem, the position he was in there. So yeah, that's it really. Peak is also very quick if you know what you're doing. So you should finish the level with 62 purple, 23 blue, 5 green, 8 yellow and 2 white, and then 1 more level worth of strength maxing, and you'll be done.
You are now entering the Cliffs of Desolation.
So for cliffs, grab the first door very quickly, grab those keys and that blue crystal, skirt back around and head back that way, clear the suicider with super shot, and you need to grab this door and grab the key on the outside. Yeah, I just get a bit unlucky with some of the generator spawns in some of these levels. And then grab this blue crystal, shoot, and grab the invincibility. And you'll see why in a second why it's good to have that. Especially when you run out of your special to boost with. And you can clear these doors. I try to avoid normally shooting the golem, but for some reason he woke up anyway. Kind of out of your control with that one sometimes. Yeah, so the invincibility prevents you from getting knocked down by the boulders. Like, they can't knock you down if you're in invincibility. And the invincibility should last you until this suicider here. And you can get through this door, grab these crystals, which I missed every single one of somehow. And then that's it, that's the end of the level. Don't grab the blue crystal up top anymore. I don't grab that one anymore. So the end of level should have 79 purple, 26 blue, 6 green, 8 yellow and 3 white. And this should be the point where you hit max strength when you invest all your money into strength. So you should have 999 strength finally now. And that's it for Cliffs.
You are now entering the Lost Cave.
So a particularly good usage of Super Shot comes into play in this level. You can break barriers, so you can break barriers later in the level if you aim Super Shots well enough. So there and there when I cleared the 2 generators, I actually was aiming to break 2 walls later in the level, and you'll see later on which walls they were. So you need to grab most of the extra root crystals on this level, unfortunately. No real way to avoid that, and it's just knowing where the generators are going to fall behind walls and like where you can shoot early and try and line up shots to clear them. But also just skirting around as many generators and enemies as you can. So like here, I thought going below would work, but there was one in the way. And then here, that shot opened up the wall with the white crystal at the end of the corridor, which saves you having to stop and shoot then. So then I grabbed this limited invulnerability, or the special one, because I want that to get me through this section with all the traps in case any of them try and like hit me or anything like that. But then also, there's a suicide at the end that I want to just run straight through. So this door here, you can see, already broken. Don't need to stop because I've broken it with Super Shot. Don't need to waste any time. But you can run right... Yeah, I had really bad spawns on this level, unfortunately. Just all the time, yeah. So then you should finish with 102 purple, 30 blue, 8 green, 8 yellow and 4 white. And then your money should now go all into Electric Shield and leave about 3,000 for Levitate. Give or take. So the Elect Shields, they will kill smaller grunts, but not the big red grunts and things like that. But you'll see on a level by level basis how it works. And now we're just going straight into caverns.
You are now entering the Volcanic Cavern.
So caverns is another one that's quite quick, but now you got the electric shield, you can do some quite fast sections, just pushing through smaller grunts and enemies. Know where Suicide Desire is helpful as well, just like shooting them ahead of time, not having to run into them. So Levitate mostly helps with traps, but also the little kicker enemies, they can't damage you, really, when you've got Levitate. It's a good reason to invest into it. So the electric shield, as you can see, is killing most general enemies. And I just got unlucky with the boulders. So yeah, you're just clearing your way with the electric shield through all the kickable enemies, getting them out of the way. And you need to make sure to grab this switch here, so you can go and grab that white crystal at the end. Yeah, it's quite a linear level overall, but being efficient with your movement is the best way to save time. Knowing when to just avoid enemies, like the bigger enemies, and skipping around generators so you don't have to shoot too much. And yeah, you just grab stuff that's in your way with keys and things like that. I think I go into the castle level with about, yeah, 7 keys. So the castle level is good to have quite a few keys on. But yeah, that should basically allow you to finish off all your purple crystals in that one. So you now have 125 purple, 36 blue, 9 green, 8 yellow and 5 white crystals. But now with the shop usage for Dragon, you need to be careful not to buy too much Super Shop, because if you're like me, you'll have some left over and you need to burn all of it to do the East Wing clip. So basically you just buy a little bit of that and like a little bit of the Phoenix and Triple. Maybe worth buying, might not be worth buying Triple Shot, because there's actually a Triple Shot in the Dragon Chamber. So it might be time efficient to not buy anything before Dragon, but I need to test that and see how it works in a real run. So you just skip the shop altogether and just go straight into Dragon with the super shot you have left and pick up a triple shot at the front of the Dragon. Need to look into that though, to see how that can be more efficiently done. Because he's so quick anyway. He's a very, very quick boss. Very weak. Yeah, so the triple shot's like right up on the top right. You can kind of see it if you like look there. It's behind me there. And then you need to burn off all your super shots to get ready to do the east wing clip next. But yeah, it could be more efficient to not buy anything from the shop, but I'd need to test that and see whether you'd have enough super shot or not, because that could be quite risky, not buying any super shot. I mean, I probably wouldn't do that, but we'll have to see. So then you should end up at level 10, so you can save and load and skip the level up cutscene, but also now put about 10,000 into electric shields, and then the remaining 5,000 into levitate, and you shouldn't really need to buy any more levitate until the end of Sky Domain or even later, really. Yeah, so you have to get rid of all of that just to make sure in the PS2 version at least that you can do East Wing Clip. But that's the end of the Mountain Domain.
Welcome back, Yellow Archer.
Okay, so East Wing Clip, East Wing Clip. So this is one you just need to practice. You just need to fire basically into that corner and you can push yourself through. It can be done faster. I've done it faster. It's just, it's one of those, it's the trick that you just have to practice and get used to. I've spent hours practicing it, trying to get it nailed down with triple shot, without triple shots. You can do obviously heavy attacks. You can sometimes get it straight away, or sometimes it can just not happen. It is sometimes just unbearable. But you just kind of have to go with it. So yeah, going into the first level of the castle domain and the courtyard. So I used to think at the start of this level, you'll see here, there's a spawner with a blue crystal behind it. I thought you had to destroy that spawner, but you don't. With electric shields, you can just push straight through it. Like, look. I don't know why I used to think you have to break that spawner, but yeah. So there's a switch boost coming up here. If you boost into the wall, you can grab all of those crystals as you boost, which saves a little bit of time. And then open both these gates, kick that out of the way. And then here's Gregory, my favourite gargoyle. But I've learned to I have mastered the Gregory. So if you go straight through the gate, don't bother going all the way around. It's just a waste of time, because the death doesn't even wake up normally. I just got unlucky and walked into him. Yeah, you can push the gargoyle back a little bit, bait him to fire, and then sometimes he's a bit annoying and he's still in the way a little bit, but I'd say about 50-50. 50-50 you'll get through straight away, which is, I'll take those odds if it means that it's like, you know, much faster than it used to be. So you grab that key in the corner, grab all this, and the key, kill the suicider, and then you go up and to the back, go this way to get to the other side. Because you need to grab that yellow crystal and that switch under the barrel. And then you just quickly grab the yellow crystal there, and you get on your way, basically. Don't worry about getting any of those keys. You just detouring for no reason. Yeah, normally I would shoot that suicider much better. Kind of messed it up there. So then, coming up is the section where you have to open specific doors to get certain crystals and switches. You only need the first, third, and fourth door. So you don't need the second door at all. You can skip the second door, it's not needed. And just bear in mind that the suiciders across like every corner, so you just have to shoot across at them. You just keep going, just push on through, get through all of this. Electric shields start to really come into practice here because you've now got the money and time to invest in them. So yeah, you need this one, and you can switch boost here across that switch. And some of the barrier spawners you can't get around. You do have to destroy them. And there's a suicider and an archer here, so I have to remember to kill both. And you should end the level with about 3 keys, which means dungeon will be a lot faster. So you finish with 64 blue, 17 green, 12 yellow, and the first black crystal. And obviously, just put all your money into electric shield, I would say. Don't need to put it in anything else. And that is the end of Courtyard.
You are now entering the Dungeon of Torment.
Okay, so this is another level where keys are so important. So having 3 at the start basically means that here you can open these 2 doors without having to grab any keys. And then you go down and grab this, and you can switch boost off this if you want. It does waste a bit of time though, so I wouldn't recommend doing it. Plus the gargoyle can spin and block you, so I don't like doing that one there. I always forget that suicider, every time. You need the keys in the corner here, because you need to grab that, and then go up and around. Because you need the key for this chest here, unfortunately, because you need to grab that green crystal. And then you need to grab this key across the little, like, walkway. And then avoid all the chests. If you fucking open a chest, you are, like, it literally kills the entire run. There's an extra key there in that barrel that I just went past if you need one, but you shouldn't need to grab that. And then go up first, go up the stairs first, switch boost off this back down, if you can get the angle better than that. And you need to go down and grab the black crystal, and there's a hidden wall with a key and a green crystal. Try not to hit the switch if you can. You can kind of like wiggle the thumbstick to not grab it and like dart out instead of going into the switch. And then you just grab that crystal, and that's the end of dungeon. It's quite quick, very fast paced. Just gotta make sure not to open any extra chests that you don't need to and waste keys. So at the end of the level, you should have 79 blue, 21 green, 14 yellow, and 2 black. And same again, all your money into electric shield, I'd say. Don't need anything else. And that is the end of dungeon.
You are now entering the Castle Barracks.
If I could rectify starting off with, like, just 1 key in this level, I would. Because it would definitely make the level much faster. Rather than having to, like, go for a lot of the keys in this level. But currently, the best way is to have 1 key from the last level to open this gate here. Go straight across. That key, triple shot for that barrel. And then you just keep going. You need to just basically grab keys whenever you can. Grab the key on the bridge here. It's only slightly to the right, so it's not too far out of the way. Then keep going up and round the typical way. Go whichever door the general isn't blocking. So in this case, I just went left. I just went left. And then this general does carry a key, but I don't like to tangle with him if I can. I like to just try to get away from him. Sometimes he blocks, sometimes he doesn't. Just how it is. You want to grab this key in the corner here for this door, and then you just go straight through with the extra key and get this switch, and then you want those keys underneath death, which is very annoying. So sometimes you can run into them and just grab them quickly, but sometimes it's like this where you have to dance with him a bit. I mean, you can potion if you want, but obviously if you can get it first time, you don't have to waste the potion or waste time doing that. So yeah, in this next section, what I used to do, and what the route used to be, was that I'd go up top for a crystal. So instead now I'm just going straight through the poison food and just getting around that section, which saves at least 15 seconds. It's much, much faster now. And then you've got another black crystal hidden in the wall here, which I never knew about before I ran this game. I never knew that was even there. And then you obviously need to grab these crystals all along here. And then this switch. Just to grab those items in the crystal.
Limited levitation.
And then you can bait the golem in a second to block with a heavy attack and then get past him. So you just need to grab that green though. So bait him like that and then run past him really quickly. And that's it. That is the end of barracks. So you should finish with 102 blue, 27 green, 15 yellow, and 3 black. And then for the next level, make sure to buy some growth because there are some suits of armor coming up. So they can't be killed with just electric shield. So I normally go for about 3,000 growth, give or take. That's normally enough. But that's the end of barracks.
You are now entering the Tower Armory.
Okay, so with armory. First of all, grab the crystal hidden behind the armor spawn here. You need to grab that yellow crystal. And then you just cut straight back across and down round, typical way basically. And then here, as you kick the door here, if you kick it just right, you can actually kill a spawner later on in the level, which can give you a bit of a hand, prevents enemies like later on. But there's so many keys in the corners in this level, you don't really need to worry about having keys too much, because you pick up so many for the gates if you just pick up the first few key rings and such. And then you just follow it round. So I have a very specific route for this and opening this gate here, for this level. Of like what to pick up where. So this is one where it's going so fast you might just need to watch it a few times to kind of get to grips with what my path is. That's the generator I was on about before. Small switch boost there as well. Yeah, watching this is just the best way to try and learn it, the exact path. Because if I try and explain it or map it out, it'll probably be too confusing. It's just better to do it that way. And you can take a shortcut there just to grab that door and that blue crystal. And then you grab the runestone. So yeah, go for those blue crystals in the corners when you get in the runestone, I'd say. It's the most efficient way of grabbing them. And then you don't forget this green crystal here in the wall, like next to the wall. And then this one right in the corner, all the way in the corner there. And then you're just going up and up and up until the end of the level. And yeah, that's it for armory. Quite quick, another very, very quick one. So the end of the level, you should have 130 blue, 32 green, 18 yellow, and 4 black crystals. And just invest all of your money into electric shields. Pretty much, it's just when you need to kill the more hefty enemies that you need to buy growth. And obviously you save and load. And that's it for armory.
Welcome back, Yellow Archer. You are now entering the Castle Treasury.
So for those of you who know the crystal route for Dark Legacy, you'll probably be saying you're not really sure where exactly the missed blue crystal from Mausoleum is getting picked up. So in this level, I realised that there's actually an extra blue crystal that's not even that far out the way to grab, that no one was really grabbing before. It comes up later in the level, but it's basically on the parallel opposite corner as here. Like up on the left by the gargoyle. It's very easy to get to. I've developed a way of getting to it very easily. Doesn't take much time, and it's definitely faster than the Mausoleum crystal. So I'll show you that when we get to that. But for now, yeah. So there's a couple of like specific things. It's going quite fast. You skip that switch. You don't need that switch for the armory. I mean the treasury at all. But you do need these two and the switch I grabbed earlier that I switch boosted off of. Yeah, just switch boost as much as you can, really, off most of these switches, because they're all off on walls that you can boost off of quite easily. So yeah, you just keep going round, and if you hug the walls here, you don't wake the gargoyle up at all until you come out. So you get up here, shoot the suicider and grab that yellow, then go for the green, and then hit the elevator switch first for the yellow, and then that switch, and then by the time you come back, you'll grab the yellow very quickly without going up on the elevator, grab that black, and then go back into the middle and grab the invincibility. So the invincibility we use here to make sure the gargoyle can't knock us over when we're in close proximity, and it just lets you push through there and get around. So you might notice, oh, I've got no keys, so what am I going to do? There is a keyring that I've ran past just because I didn't think it was worth grabbing, but there's an extra key up next to this suicider here that you can go straight through. If you grab that keyring and then go through this door on the left first, and then grab that keyring, then it's good. There's also a lightning amulet in that chest on the right there that I have tried grabbing to see if it would speed up Chimera at all, because Chimera is slightly weak to the lightning amulet, but at the moment I haven't implemented that, so that's still, yeah, that's still to be experimented with. End of the level you should have 150 blue, 37 green, 21 yellow, 5 white and 5 black, and then you can now go straight into 8,000 super shot, 1100 triple 900 phoenix like normal. Having the key and getting the electric amulet might save time overall, but I'm not entirely sure. Again, another thing to take away from this video to test maybe. But yeah, you just go straight into Chimera with your maxed out strength and just murder him very quickly. It doesn't take very long at all. It's weird because he doesn't have a loading animation, see? So I thought I'd have to, like, that's why I started shooting, because I thought I'd have to tap through something. Force of habit. But he doesn't have any kind of, like, intro animation on your character when you go into this level, for some reason. It's quite strange. So yeah, kill off the Chimera, grab the coins, obviously, as quickly as possible. It's normal. And at the end of the level, put all of the money into electric shields, and then you're good.
You have defeated the fearsome Chimera and recovered his shard. You have found the one runestone from this realm. Yellow Archer has gained a level. Welcome back, Yellow Archer. You are now entering Toxic Spire.
So this is really the section of the game that I still need to fully optimize. Not in terms of crystals, but routing, movement, keys, etc. It's not fully perfected yet. I mean, the last sections aren't perfected either, I would say. But the route can be definitely still improved. So a key thing, pardon the pun, to get is these two key rings on the way through here. And then you need these ones here, and then try not to open that chest if you can, and then grab that extra set of keys there. You need all the keys you can, really, for the upcoming like sections of this level. Again, try not to open the chests if you can. You want to save the keys, but I'm just messing up on my movement a little bit. And you're just grabbing pretty much every crystal there is at this point now. There's a couple, like, in levels after this that I skip, but yeah, for the most part, like in this level, you're grabbing every single crystal. You need every single one that you can. So here, you just go around, grab that green, and then head straight back. And then sometimes the golem's in the way, like here. I've had better sections. And then you go up and to the left after that switch to grab that one. It might save time to maybe not hit the switch and go for that yellow from the top. I'm not quite sure. Also, don't grab that switch anymore for the time stop. It's just a waste of time. Again, pardon the pun. Try not to make puns. But if you notice, you can kind of like bait the gargoyle around and quickly grab all the crystals. Like, he's not really going to be in the way. Yeah, I mean, other than that, really, that's like the only time, and you can avoid that normally, so it's not a big deal. And just get through this section. You need keys for these doors as well, hence why I pick up so many. You might not need to pick up that extra set, maybe just the 2 will do. Again, like I say, not entirely optimised yet. It's still something I want to work on. You know, my next probably section will be to cut down the times from here going into the genie, basically. I want to work on that section next, I think. Just to really, really perfect movement and things like that on that section of the game. Bring that all under, like, even 155 maybe, I think at the moment it's sitting on around. Not entirely sure, I need to look more into it, like I say. I've been focused so much on this section of the game, not any later sections at all. I think I've only done one entire playthrough in the last few months. I've just been doing segments at the moment, so yeah, you grab those white crystals obviously, and that's it for Spire. So going out of this level, you have 71 green, 28 yellow, and 10 whites. And I don't bother with growth for the next level because you only have the big enemies that need it and the archers and such, and you can boost through all of them really anyway. And plus the growth will run out before the end of the level because Cloud Docks is so long. So yeah, going into Cloud Docks.
You are now entering Cloud Docks.
Okay, so the final level of this segment is Cloud Docks. This is the one I feared speaking about the most, purely because it's so long. I'm just going to talk for about 6 minutes about this godforsaken level and how annoying it is, how long and linear it is. So these moving platforms, if you get the timing right, you can actually get onto them before they move. Not entirely sure what the mechanism is for like what controls where they are, like where they start. I don't know if it's a universal timer or whether they start in a certain position every time. But yeah, if you're lucky, you can get straight onto them and not waste any time. But yeah, that doesn't normally happen. Yeah, don't forget that white crystal. I've had a few runs where I forgot that white crystal, and it's painful. Very, very painful. Yeah, pretty much all the crystals are needed in this level at this point. Like, in this part of the game, this is more the point where you have to be collecting everything. I was trying to switch boost off that, but completely messed it up completely. Just awful, awful. And, yeah, so going round into this section, going back onto the top. If you have enough keys, you can take the... I was trying to break the barrier later on by doing that. Again, something I'm still working on. If you have enough keys, you can go through this right doorway. Again, this is all things I'm not entirely sure on yet. So yeah, see, I did actually manage to break that. Destroy all of that. This is all things I'm still kind of trying to work on and develop. Just because it wasn't something I was really focusing on. I wanted to get Cloud Docks as like the first section of the game really heavily worked on to start with. So yeah. And then again, I'm trying to develop where I need to shoot here to hit the breakable wall here. Basically just saving time on breaking walls when you're in these long sections, because if you're in long sections you might as well make the most of them somehow if you've got super shot. So yeah. I don't really know why I do that. I've just started doing that to prevent those enemies from coming up on me too quickly. Don't really know why. And then you can skip around that barrier, that spawner. And then you just go straight onto here with your keys. See, I was thinking to myself, is there any section here I could shoot for? Like maybe shoot for the part with the like. There's a bit later on with like 5 crates you have to break through, but I'm not entirely sure where it correlates to that flying section. Like I haven't quite figured it out. So yeah, I'm still working on that. But or like here, like breaking that wall would be useful, I think. So yeah, this is the runestone section. I normally break that before I go through, just to prevent the general from getting in my way when I'm trying to get into there later. Because you pretty much like 9 times out of 10 wake him up, just because of his patrol. Like, and he's got like a very high alert. Like the second you go near him, he'll just wake up. You'll see here, like I'm not really that close to him, but he still wakes up. Just have to try and get around him as much as you can. I don't think it's worth baiting generals because they move so fast. It's really only columns that you need to bait to like stop and block. Generals aren't worth baiting for the most part because you can get them to run. Yeah, so you can shoot that with the super shot. So this is the crate I was on about before. Like here, these crates here, maybe a way to break all of these. So you don't have to waste time shooting them. I've done it before where I've had Thunderhammer and I've run out of super shots early and then used Thunderhammer to break open all those crates, which is faster, but it's nicer to have super shot just for other reasons of like breaking crates early and stuff like that. Yeah, see, the electric shield on its own isn't doing much work, but it can at least kill the little puddles and weaker mobs, so it's definitely still worth putting the money into, I think, because even if you don't kill enemies with it, you can push them without having to boost into them, so that saves boosts, at least for the first hit. Yeah, so you grab that key there. So this is another section where having super shot is good, because you can break the chests like very quickly. But you can see from all my splits how much time I've saved through just better movement within the last 2 realms alone. Like my first 2 realms of this run specifically that can definitely be improved. Like there was around. This is what I'm saying. I think it can be lower than 57:18, which is the final time I did get. But I think that will require just having very, very good precise movement at all times, and that's not always easy. It's not always as easy as it seems, so yeah, so here it is, here it comes, 57:18. So yeah, just to compare, I'll yeah, so you end the level with 106 green, 56 yellow and 15 white at the end of that. So just to give some clarity and comparison on the time save, so far over my PB's pace, it's pushing it under 57 minutes. So it's definitely possible to get under 57 minutes, I think. Considering my PB pace was around 58 minutes, just under 59, I think it was. And at the moment, this pace is 2 minutes under Boyo's 59-minute flat split in his PS2 record, but it's still a minute behind the GameCube world record pace by Green Screw Tape, which is 56 minutes and 9 seconds for this split. I mean, obviously GameCube has some advantages, which naturally mean it's probably going to be faster, and therefore mean that it's always going to really be within the 56-minute range. But implementing the changes into that would probably bring that down within 55 minutes, I imagine. I definitely think those 9 seconds could easily be gone from green screw tapes splits. So yeah, it's looking like there's quite a lot of potential still for time save, even within this segment of the run. Probably possible to get the next level, the shipyard, under an hour. I think under like a sub-hour shipyard is probably possible with perfect play. That'd be something I'll probably looking into the next section, doing sums of the splits and segments. But yeah, there's still a lot of potential, and this is just one section of the game I've worked on. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was informative, and if you have watched from beginning to end, God bless you, and I'll see you next time.